I was rather say it's wrong. Let me know kumoni yo kumakwapa. Sankanya mi biye weni. Amuna bofwa try yo kumweshia. Anka busiro mi bay. Kau baby. Amponya mi biya bofra neli. Ohumisa bofwa try yo kumweshia no. Odozo sini wana tamfuti. Frana is room. When you mean you walk on funty, Obeku mountain. Majin Papa, you go bad, no, yes, we have been a fool. And so, Majin Papa, yes, we have been a fool. And so, Majin Papa.
Yo, education for Nyomna Jamuta, Antwi radio.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah.
Education for very ready. No, Masum, am I?
Yeah.
Yo, Adarkwah, your chairman, education for me ready and Masum, am I? I want me too.
They say your moderator Collins. One is now I ready into. Wait there, sorry. Mr. Quatin now bay.
Yeah,
ready.
Yo, be your Collins tea, so I ready. No, what's your mama?
Yeah, ready into boats. Collins, take over.
Okay. I'm about to be at a man, can't you?
You don't capa.
Oh, okay. And yeah, happy Sabbath and good afternoon to Obia. Tian Chen Hono, you bedi kaya a bonfire first. Tia bonfire we are now for the Yashe, you may dear say. Best, Elder Mr. Once a bonfire, my one, so near the started. Oh, me too, mother.
At that time, want me too.
Mr. Quatin, part of bonfire, my wife.
Pacho, enuanom, umiemo mpaye. Our most gracious Father in heaven, we are so grateful and thankful to you for this time of meeting. Now, we are in the period of pandemic where for the first time we are trying to do things, which are seemingly unsurmountable, on our side as teachers, as educators, and even as a nation. Lord, at this hour we are meeting parents of our church. We are asking you to take leadership of whatever we are going to present, this afternoon, so that whatever we hear, whatever we put across, will not come from us, but will come from you, Lord. Help us so that we can reach each and every person that has, gathered in here to come to understand these challenges and also to appreciate the little effort, that teachers and school districts are making to make sure that our children are successful in their education. We are so grateful and thankful to you for this opportunity. You know that you are going to be with us this afternoon and help us to bring it to a successful end. These and many other, blessings that we are asking this afternoon. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. And that program, no. Right now, you choose a number of course, so because of coronavirus, Niama Bebre assessor. One, unfortunately, these are also trying times. It's the first time I'll be visa AC Santi. We are trying to figure it out. Education for Asia, we realize that, there's a lot going on. Parents, balancing school, and work, and also in Kuala, so just adapting the whole concept of just taking classes from home. And in area, we have your Kofi more panel, so a bit discuss it the course right now with the new adaptation of hybrid program. So I see issue deal with fear and almost school no. In some times a bit because we person here by the same time person Juma. And I never knew so almost said that church school no. Nti me sure say questions be brave ebe wo ba misremo mommy hold your questions till after the board panel no ekasawia you better try your best see your best obia questions see intimi answer na questions need you better try to hold your phone. Okay, thank you. You better try to honor your follow up night. You be answer those questions no. Yenche on conform war panel so no. Mesa introduce more abium, but right now no. Me ni I make sure say or more line so. Ella Yeboa, Akosia Belko, Mr. Quartin, and Adarkwah. I know say Adarkwah is already on here, because me who know. Adarkwah will be weak across Bedi Kaka. Inti Medania man into Okasewia. After that, each member on the panel almost be introduce no match the omo ye. Into Omunina Kasewia and after the ye be a floor no for or be questions. Into Adarkwah, Mr. To take you over. Mute.
Minutes to speak. Now, the American is parents, please. Yes.
I think that the first part of your speech in the Antwi, because now you were still on mute.
Okay.
Silva.
All right. Messi, I'm going to speak for about 10 minutes. Now, Ghanaian parents, dear Mr. Christian parents, Adventists, and they say, BBA course was school system, try to take advantage of it. So you don't stress yourself over things. Near Christians, in so young far empire, and so any BBA, and by God's grace, things will go well. My church points being category and become one seven. They did kind and a Families First COVID Response Act. Employer paid leave. If you're a parent, now we're Juma, now so be our one and 9. Now, if you think they need help, instead of leaving them to go to work and stressing, call your human resource to find out. Now, I know several parents have benefited because I buy EMRA with Department of Labor and the Control. The first 2 weeks, I can tell you be paid 100%. I will say, as I will take care of Unquara virtual education or more. After that, you can go for several weeks, up to 10 weeks or more. Or move 2/3 of will pay. No one you're quite a support Unquara. The tossing me new American internet. A lot of the challenges some of the students have when they say Ayana or internet akati. All of the school principals in this region or money Comcast never rising idea yamu code as all from say internet akati. It doesn't matter what your income is. Principal never me ama code nibi or the bema oldest child. Na mufie internet no I upgraded now boana constant interrupt disruption no na ejai. I hope so be fair me time no mommy. They toss me any in-person help. Schools no be brave. A woman say inquiry as a so call virtual, but if the child will be obedient enough to wear his mask, schools was some days here or more in-person help to a certain number of people. And it is obvious that and your assignments and you can't help them. Call the school principal. Now they will give you your days. I know some building when they have Wednesdays and Thursdays. Enquire from between 9 o'clock and 4 o'clock assignments. The good thing about program when they say Aquarana attendance is required every day. But Aquarana yan work for the day. Most of them use a canvas. This aquatin better a Fairfax County, the canvas no more use. But Aquarana your friend or synchro something. Me kai word no. Aquarana attendance no. Asynchronous attendance ni grading any day. The main fan say we work it also Monday when to me uncle no Monday off for Prince William. Tuesday when to me uncle, Wednesday when to me uncle. I said Thursday and now Friday or 10 in assignment in or say no or an assignment here. Now attendance will be given back. He'll be marked present for the 2 days. And I work, he has about 2 weeks or in some cases more time or better than attendance in. And as a parent, don't stress over the child not being able to finish his or her attendance the same day. What was great, so Prince William is different from other counties, but I know some Manassas and Stafford, they're doing something similar. The grades can be changed at any time during the 9 weeks. And into say Aquarana subject way because it's all complete some assignments. The grades in year. Or better me affect say and I'll bet me a contact teacher or the assignment amano. Because when the deadline comes, the assignment goes off from program But obet me a contact teacher no assign assignment na Aquarano. I'm why yeah. So even after 2 weeks or turning it in, he gets grade there. SS will deserve without any ABR. And what our more reduced and free lunch, minimum almost 3 times a day. Bisakorani school, so someone distribute all the counties in this area. So someone check the closest place. Ubetimi akwaji aduane edi ama wo ba anase wo ma no. Said the bear ekom any devices. So body device enye dwuma ana etai kate of a ya. Don't take it to Best Buy or any place to fix it. Call the school and take it back. Yeah, man a brand new one. Yeah, man a brand new one, but fix it and I'll be man for. Meaning some building we are and close to 2,000. And Quara say building it's less than 50. Wouldn't say or more iPads, more than 300, any computers, about 250 parents may claim. And so teacher be report to Friday say, which yeah parent be will chroma or call Best Buy or talk laptop a man because laptop for school demand on any duma. I say, have you called the school? Did the child tell the teacher or anybody? No. And please, let's make use of the system instead of stressing over it. I think some time or yasu. And you do questions and answers time. More than my bar, my head meeting me yan, but I'm telling you, said me kai bebre a year juma in most of the schools are a war area hano. Enti medamase. Manuasi.
Oh, 3 more minutes. Oh,
3 more minutes. Okay. Okay. And Quarano share said they schedule their time to make the best use of their time. And they should take breaks. Look, I've talked with some of the teachers. Teacher Baku, Kasha said, any Friday, she went to bed at 3 a.m. getting his stuff ready. When you go to school, the teacher can just grab a workbook and just go to the copier and print copies and put them in front of the kids. Now you can't do that. You have to go to a canvas and type your things. So especially if you type slowly, or if you have different types of kids, special ed, English learners, and then gifted kids and average kids, and it's parents, it's stressful for you, but believe me, I'm telling you, it's very stressful on some of the teachers. That teacher was telling me, say, Ada wadan temper 12 midnight, and this is a married woman. So, and this is not easy on the teachers too. Now, the teacher calls to see why they are not there. Look, so your assignment and tell the teacher that, but please don't take off, because if you watch the teacher's instruction, you benefit more. Teachers in the baby, one we have videos, under assignments on Canvas. I think that most of the schools are I know that Manassas for you Schoolology. I don't know if I said the name right. Is that it? Schoolology? I think so. But it's the same as Canvas. Obia time no face to face that time no there come as Obia Zoom, and then they have Clever, they have so many other programs. Look, it's a program who use just during the break or in the evening, go to the YouTube channel and watch it and know it. If you don't know, call the school. Now, parent in the country almost say, Obanesi here say, Ubi Buano, Ubi walk through. I'm why examples so you get it. They want every child to succeed. Look, school administrators want to make sure say the children will pass the standardized tests, okay? And standardized tests will come in May. And until they don't want to leave anybody behind, because the school's accreditation affects almost Duma and almost evaluation. And please do the best you can. It's not just you under stress, but don't put a lot of stress on yourself. Take it easy because we are Christian. Pray about it, and by God's grace, you do fine. Thank you very much. Okay. Mr. Kwati.
Yeah. That's it. What you mean by who stay within 10 minutes and on it. Thank you. And you have 22 seconds for more questions. If a few points be I just want to reiterate because you started near best at 40 something, we see 50. Timber me Bobos Army and San so and some rest of the panel I can suggest because in case Obi may say one was the whole thing with the website pay, says Krani was school now said, it's becoming a conflict with work and so there are resources available a bit pay parents, or move full-time pay and then some subsidized later on. As I'm sure there will be a question on that as to how to get that resource and in patch so bet me about time so I said be a information. The other one was the things that is synchronous way, learning, then also I think that people will have question on it in terms of where they can go, and computer this was very good. The mom may say, now that cause in case school computer the mark around say enye juma so don't go to Best Buy and say Walmart and Kotobi, just go to the school because computer and the iPad will bring parents and be claim yet. And I say more issues so in terms of in an internet so things that there's contract with Comcast that they're supposed to come take care of it for you without cost, right? I think. Okay. And again, that's since some may sign Abubo or more panel in Sudino. Me boarding we are your best started with Ella Beba Ebekasa in terms of the educational being somebody going through this, experiencing over my first hand experience. Ella we are near my Akoshia Belko, so Akasa. So Ms. Belko we are not Mr. Quartain. Also I take you over. After that, no, we need closing comments. I'm not be floor to the congregation. They are try best your so be a question. Into Ella, if you on you can take over.
Hello. Mpacho mutiminka kwatine kase. Okay, very good. So mami Ella enyamaya yeah, in fact I'm sorry to break the protocol, but at least and some person may in line with what Elder Aqua Akano I be much and I'm betting Camille Bibisano at Twasso. I mean Minkasana Bebre.
I'll bet you may introduce you and also what you do now.
Okay, good. Maybe Henry Quartin. Michradie for the past 30 years. United States here, my fourth country, Michradie Ghana, Makochradie Lesotho, South Africa, and Masama Baha. And I know Michradie, I started as a substitute teacher, and actually, I full-time appointment with Fairfax County Public Schools as a special education teacher. I also have my endorsement in mathematics. Ti kuntana machra besi summary. Na meba no so no meba eda ka kire me no mo na mfo amwo Fairfax County a almost Ghanaians, though omonye members of the SDA church. me no mo anopai na from cry be some say there's me nkoye ni e present ni na me cry dem nye yo I mean public me try but me nya de public speaking one man na me koto na me de beto na sa ne man say me organizing them ye nti we said there will be a lot of questions on until me do me mom so buy on the odi kan Mr. Mensa Bonsu ono one of the elders of Pentecost Church na ochra de of Fairfax County Public Schools. He has been with Woodson High School and Oko Hayfield, or a special education teacher. And another teacher back on for so many years Ghana actual books about so or one of the elder or elder or Methodist Church both Mr. Mensa Bonsune Mr. Sekufo omunyina elders in their churches omu preach to their friends but omunyina so kira de am do mo aba ni so I say in case question be aba up and I say little contribution be omutima make bia no omutima aboa ma friends saying this pandemic situation I woman so at me friends saying to me easy problems I go through now. Same kind me child of Fairfax County Public Schools. Now, I my Kofi match you try to say bobo subia say betimi actually a friend is saying encounter virtually say on computer. Now, you a lot of problems with jamu my yetna fibe a week or two. Actually, munya solution said now we have to use a Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Now Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is in line with Blackboard I set it up in the school system. A friend is saying most of the communications and whatever we actually do with a friend is saying the students a syllabus ne knows in now so we also open it for parents to also see whatever is going on. Parents knows with me who the course. And na oma create Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. It me the actually virtually. Now the company say answer this school year be begin survey almost survey with teachers and also parents. Now majority of the parents vote to say in fact face to face studies na learning or instruction. Now the company say yes enka hun hyehyeye ama ka face to face learning as in crown come about 2 days you could move 2 days nanka in person na 2 days no so akwa asynchronous na kwa say you don't meet them face to face, you don't meet them on a computer, I mean as a online, but do assignment a friend saying a Blackboard or Google Classroom. Let's say I answer a friend saying questions are assignments are or more now setback by because directive from the health directorate by saying in fact there are a lot of concerns about health issues. I say we Fairfax County Public School doesn't have control over those health issues, so we decided say okay, it's going to be 100% virtual. Into implementing way no make sure say obia binya akorabia be man anya access to computer. They say I want to make sure say akorabia or computer. I say ultimately a call a friend is saying online kusua there. Na mu asem some of the friends and challenges and some of the prospects of this virtual learning. And I said during question time I will give you a chance for you to come up and then so that I talk about it. They say acquire 100% virtual from elementary level to a friend is saying what do you call it high school. Now, one of the challenges is with use of the computer. Now, you will say in Quran Bible, so need access to internet. Into Fairfax County, no so I say, or me used to a friend saying, Cox and Comcast, or more this what do you call it? Internet essential for need-based, students. I said, no, for about $10, every month. And so we need access to internet. That's what my. Then no, so internet a friend is a computer problem issues are you let the IT of schools know IT department or the IT department of Fairfax County Public Schools no more at me a solve problem biana a friend is saying now you follow normal bell schedule usually Tuesdays to Fridays you follow the normal bell schedule from 8 o'clock until 3 p.m. and Kranoba normal changing lesson from first period, second period until the 8th period. From Tuesdays to a friend is saying Friday, in a Ediko school, Edimiti and Grano virtually. Now on Mondays, a friend is saying you are setting aside for intervention. Akolabia officer or problem bia or nema yesuya and I say or emotional problems, social issues, a friend is saying on Monday utimiba arrange with the teachers and your a friend is saying counselors, a friend is saying advisory, section omunuso ebemuso ebuankulano ma emotional and change of their schedules subjects on Mondays we are setting aside the ideas and now besides that in the Tuesday to Friday teacher be also on office hours you set aside about an hour to also invite students to a friend saying with issues and assignments problems help with that and they are going to say no tardiness yama go say parents can't say why late why late was but we shall let parents know say school na until your flexible even your teachers are privileged for we can go back say akulabi kurano for some internet issue. Yeah, internet class, not the same reason we could go back and then change the friend saying the attendance status. And adeba kwa asa bafufra a new near rolling grade book Fairfax County as I introduce you. Now you see, and I'm going to say the whole throughout the year. In fact, you are not trying to do it up to the end of the first quarter. I say, making provision. Say, a friend is saying, this what we are going through now. Let's assume, say, you be follow till the end of the year. It's not they don't know what may happen, so they are trying to make a provision or trying to make a calendar, until the end of the year and see how things will work out. But if, at a point in time, no one say, let's say, go face to face in this manner, they will also let us know. Now, then we go back to, the buildings and then do whatever we have to do there. So what I'm trying to say is, rolling grade book near says that, say, Akolano, there won't be breaks, in the grade book, breaks beyond memo in connection with their grades. So do fourth quarter, first quarter, or assignment be due. Parents need to confirm who say, when you come back to the first quarter and then let the students ask the students to do friends saying do some makeups, to put some fill those empty spaces na akorana nya so throughout the year so akorana missing work bia na year as a otimi a request say ye manenye na ye fa bibi nhye homa no it's not like say your first quarter ended ye wie bibia ye nko ho bio you can start the second quarter yeah and so grade book no ye wie ho bibia ye nko ho bio enter this year. This year, and throughout the year, no, the grade book will be opened for a as a beboa. Am I so etimaye? And another thing is me time we also on my account now.
I can't write 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, very good. That's it. Yeah, sessions now and then Krano have us on your record on the blackboard, you know, your record will be sending them to the Google Classroom. Now in the Fairfax County Public Schools, no, this time no, they almost elected 17 schools to follow. Mr. Adarkwah can once about the Schoology, you know, tool, you know. I know you're within it's in the blackboard, but it says that on the collaborate, you know, ultra, no, they are no open extracting some information from the blackboard that ultimately extracting directly. And a friend is saying, open sending them to the blackboard for parents to get access, and then parents to, you know, students to also see her. And so there is that direct connection with when you are using the Schoology, no. But at the moment, no, only 17 schools within the Fairfax County are implementing the Schoology, you know. But apart from that, no, yeah, no, you see, no, mini school, I'm the Manveno High School, no. You use a friend is saying the blackboard collaborate for the virtual session, and then we put information on the Google Classroom for the asynchronous, you know, learning. So my assignments ne notes ne a friend is saying sessions are recording now the Google Classroom then can access it now the SMU as play back what we have done in class now is also available for them to do that. And a lot of challenges as parents and students go through now. But you see, I know say be born be let's say a friend saying the papa be a few mapa. Now the minimum who say when I make us yeah, you know, a policy. Me am adwena make a year by your computer aging technology afa be they say number say na it's not if you are using technology no aboy meet me a friend is saying I use to boy man grant me a independent in future. And two, a more organized because you started at this time I use it as you know a scapegoat, and I say yeah pioneers, you know, in doing implementing this. No, I know it's a very difficult time for us, a challenging time for the status. But I think with time, you know, the students will get used to this. And another thing is that, you know, parents will also have to learn how to use technology because that, you know. Yes, yeah.
Mr. With the advisory partner in terms of, you know, adapting to this, you know, you better hold on, you know, to after the questioning with the closing remarks, you know. I always say, you know, about Ella Bassington, more on this opportunity, not all my the students' perspective, you know. But what you're saying is very important. To bet me, I try to for closing remarks, and I think it will be very helpful to all the parents.
Okay, yeah. That's it.
And that's it. So Ella, you can take over.
Hi, my name is Ella. I'm a 5th grader from River Oaks Elementary School. This year, since we're starting virtual learning, it's been kind of stressful with all the homework, going to different Zoom classes at different times, and so far it's been going great. The homework is okay, there's been no complaints. And even though we're doing it virtually, it's basically the same thing through school, just that we're online. And from my perspective, I think the county did a great job by choosing virtual, because if we went to in person in school as in different states, most likely the cases would have went up with COVID, and I would not like to have COVID. So my experience with virtual learning has been going great. I really enjoy it, and I really think that the county did the right thing.
Thanks, Ella, for the student perspective. Parents, one of the few things or boss, so I would just like to reiterate, was the fact that, it seems like the homework near the moment is increased, and she mentioned it's been stressful. So let's do our best to also assist them with the homework part of this whole thing. The next person, I'll be Miss Akosia Beko, Jawaswa.
Hi, my name is Professor Admiral. I go to Maine Elementary, which is in Antwi County Schools. My experience with virtual learning, I'm starting to get used to it, but in my personality, I don't like it. So what I'm trying to, the good thing is that I get to stay home and I can be closer to my family. And the hard part is it's hard to sit still in front of a computer for 5 hours a day. And I just hope that we can get to school in person one day. Thank you.
Thank you. And so more panel so Elder, but is there anything else you would like to add before we open it up? Adarkwah. Okay. So
okay. Yeah, the American said the school, especially Prince William and Manasseh City, the school system always encourages teachers to build brain breaks. Like you do 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you need to stop, let the kids do whatever they want for 5 minutes before they come back. Let them chat with their friends, let them just run around, let them do push-ups and come back. But I mean, the survey shows that a lot of the teachers are not doing it because they say they have a lot of stuff to cover. Some people just focus on what they have to do. So if you're a student, I suggest that you do that yourself. When you feel really tired, stand up, stretch, go down, you are at home and do some push-ups, step outside, run around, get some fresh air, and then come back and continue. So most of the teachers who use Canvas, they can also record the lesson. You can record the lesson and leave it on assignments. So when the lesson is over, or if you miss a class time, go back and play it, and then you hear whatever the teacher said. There are some cases who turn the recording off when a student is speaking, when a student is asking questions. Some teachers don't do that. So with the ones who don't do on and off, you get everything. You get to know the questions and answers that came during the class. But please don't say that because you can go and watch a recording, you won't attend class. Because attending class, your brain, the focus from your brain is different from when, the psychology of it. Now he's speaking. I need to listen to get it. It's different from going back and say, oh, I go and play the tape. If you participate in the class and go back and listen to the tape, you get kind of an advantage. It's better for you. And please plan your time. Look, the other time I said, and I'm saying it again, this is a time that some people have resolved to do very, very well. Because when you are in elementary school, when you are in middle school, this is when the scholarships for college get set up. If you can build yourself a good foundation when you get to high school, you do well. And please, I hear that a lot of the boys, they stay up, especially the high school boys, they stay up and play video games with their friends most part of the night. Please, please, please don't dig holes for yourself. Prepare well. Some people said, oh, we have scholarship for this, scholarship for that when going to college. You are trading your scholarship money for these, excuse me to say, useless games. You can play games, set yourself up to play games on Saturday night. And don't do it on Sunday night, don't do it on school day. On Monday morning, there is time when you do your assignments, and then there is time when you can contact your teachers about things you don't understand. Please make the best use of the time. And administrators are saying that the wise students and the parents who care about a good educational future for their kids, they are going to take advantage of this moment. So please take the chance. Boys, please, high school boys, don't play video games during the week. Do it over the weekend. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ada. Before I see a bit be a panel to everybody, and I have two questions. I'm presenting with Elder and Adarkwah and Mr. Kwate. Ella said something, and Kofi also said something. I just want you to iterate on. She had said, they have said there's the homework, So, Mr. Adarkwah and as teachers, can you give a first-hand experience? Would you say that the homework, has increased or is the same? And then the second question was, I think Akosia said, with her personality, she prefer, she would rather be in the schoolhouse because sitting behind the computer, she just cannot sit still. So for certain children that may want to go to school, I know some counties have a program where some kids are actually in the classroom and they have like a hybrid. So does Fairfax County or Prince William County, do you have any idea if there is such a thing for parents not more so if they have such kids and the kid wants to go to the schoolhouse? So homework and possible hybrid, and how does that work? Mr. Kwati, which Malcolm first, since I just finished talking.
Oh, I see. Okay. Homework, more or less, is about the same. But it's only that when you give them homework online, and I think intimidation, what you say, okay, Bibiano, as a multi fish out, for where the homework has been placed. In Yama discipline. Now, I say way as a parents I'm a friend is saying I'm monitoring colano, I'm sure say okay, the homework here man colai. The make sure say Oma your homework now. Anna a friend is saying Bankrano etitina kakra. Oh, now the load of the in such a way say the burden on them or the workload is more or less not a overwhelming. I mean it's not that much for them not to do. But I say we know Akoba say SN Krano it taking responsibility for the worker or more and the thing EBI is Nkrano it's very difficult for us to control things. But I think that the stakeholders if we come into concert and then help one another we'll be able to help these students to do their homework. And also when you say technology is a problem as Nkrano, a lot of them are even are faced with. And some of the tools or software teachers need use to help to get to the students. Computer use that it is a problem to open that tool or the software on that computer. A challenge, but I think that with time, no, I mean, we may be able to have a solution to this. Homework and granny at the moment. There are interventions. They shouldn't hesitate. There should be a constant communication between home and then school, home and teachers. The communication break is a big problem because parents now and getting in touch with their teachers. No, I'm sure more what they have to do near they shouldn't hesitate. Teachers will find time and they'll be more than happy to assist the students with their homework they are doing. Because the banner friend is saying I'm the question for a teacher when you cranas more 50% of the work. Now I am much simpler. You won't try to communicate with it constantly. Okay, that's what I have to say about this.
Thank you. Elder, just obey me for the other part now with let's say the kid who would like to be in the school, and also let's just say the parent have special needs kids now, since that's your realm. No, obey me. Is there any programs for those parents?
Okay, my person maybe I miss what's and the other okay. Almost so contribution person mama we are na miss maba. Okay.
Mr. Mensa Bonsu Kwame. I say okay.
Madam say instead of kind of Favors County, instead of being kind. You decided to say you call 100% computer no. Although you say first quarter way and there somewhere October 21st, so 24th for baby. Now on the elementary school for the kind alcohol. Me I heard say they remember see Adarkwah. So we kona no be a fire no be ma. No mama special ed on crane bi. Omo for a cohort. Yashida is selected before be on crane bia. Omo de this omoba wansa na omo additionate na koso yi. Me am also echo. It also corner said na me adom bibia ensia. Na afei de ya kan na ya bia ho agim. Enti omo plans a omo ya no da no. Na said ya me ne kan no koba se ase yare no kwa na ekosoro. Enti omo no kwa no omo hunu says our plans no ebetima start here October now almost share now. It is say now I was on plan B. In the September 22nd, Favors County Board no almost at Nasa no matter how you review. And after meeting because said I can parents need be start especially or more special needs case no. I must start to complain pa. Inti omo pe kwan bia so no so omo betima ma san kwa no be kan kwa na no emuaya ne baba ewo obo ma committee na wie inti omo nko ye meeting e ma yere de say bi ntimi nka ezisi bia say e baba so ana say e ma so inti ehwe na me ka bi kakra fa eye homework no ho eye mini school nim say other schools ni bia ba Favors County school am wo no ya hye say your homework. This work I remember Monday, because Monday no only share computer so. It work I remember work on Monday. But if you Tuesday, couple Friday no, mom homework bia. It will be a school bia or the policy kakra dia. If you say you timi we are because kobasa in fact enkwani bi bre metie me enkwa 9 me sa school na me timi no motina wa ma no 11 enya say ye tu no homework nkwa aben enti enkwa no awofo no enti akwa kwa so yeso no osu na parent no so were frustrated. It means other schools need be now adapted here now. Monday, Tuesday, akwani enhyia show bibi. Tuesday to Friday no. Monday no na kwai kaka. Sira ya awfo ne mmofo ni na ye ni beje pepepe. Oda ma say.
Yo, kwame da se. Na so se kufo pacho wa ha. Se we nso a special education teacher and then also Mr. Say.
Yeah, the pacho wa ha. Any akamo. Homework no I have a problem nti the number of special needs they have intellectual disability all the way cry say oko more homework biblia oh how we follow the woman say oh juni so Adarkwah one oh for only they must be there with them e dia juma ana omotin ko an nchen e mo moye is a one sad design and we become one problem, but I know say genetic students and as a genetic case no homework baby because yes you more a lot of them. Sometimes it's about speaking with the teacher too. Only teacher no enkasa. So this is the situation. Almost self flexibility. This is the situation. You are doing this and doing that and doing it at the same time. And you know, every hard game. So they know how to make sure say more aligning homework hold on na me wo Fairfax County but the Stafford County Frank Rana obeba school no Stafford County said by 6th of October also Korano from pre-K to second grade the option aba say open so ba hybrid be 2 days in a week face to face. Now the other 3 days now asynchronous. Opera you opt for that. Say on person so you go totally virtual. Then you the situation. Mitifie the manekwa mesa ko akwa share no basta bonsa na de naba. And yes, say many if na oye na the monitor no Abraham so much na better. It depends on what you want to do. Fairfax County as for now, there's no official statement Abba said until Sunday new meeting on the 22nd. Until
Prince William there Akorabia or spending 50% or more of his time in special ed or in person. But your parents in Yana Jitu Musa or Mumbesa. Me say me wo enkwara bia parents no opti say omunye in person. Enti me program no your teacher ba ko or no ye virtual and I'm here in person. But the same parents they were complaining a lot about the teacher. Almost men am here virtual it's not possible. But actually, Sankarana almost very low. Monkwara be a mild, be a moderate, be a severe, but Dubona a moderate and severe. In Kwarami, you almost use medical equipment. Inti Oman Kasa, ya virtual and Muntimia. Inti Miamaji, almost Kwarami, you know. Yamiasa made the picture books near their basic things or drop off my parents, you know. During the week, no more ridiculous inquiry to me answer and questions in the idea. You know, I mark them present and I give them grades for that. And yes, and Kwarana Kanina canvas here. Miss Osaku for a canvas more Stafford and then Prince William. Manassas. He can make me personalize Akorabia homework. And this will ban homework does so I want to talk with the teacher. So working here too much, especially if you are a friend of kindergarten, I first grade, and now 5th grade, I high middle school and now 8th grade, high school for. What the teacher kasa or better say the system allows the teacher to individualize for the children. And in Timaka say a volume of work, in dear one teacher and so, but teachers no so mpese akwara sabi onye hard working no obegye se menya ne easy and you know students wa mana ye easy ama no aka kire ne namfo na ne namfo so aka kire ne namfo na ne omo so namfo aka kire omo namfo afei na discrimination eniema ebe teacher no so hu sa but with canvas the teacher na betimi aye in such a way says akwara na amfa ni code ama na damfo ndimi mma mehu the work awaye kra omo ye group work so they are giving group grades enti please stress enti school no counselors building BMU when the child is getting stressed. Look, you can work through the guidance counselor. It's a guidance counselor can't you teacher and say akwara we ni work Roman 50% here. And not there or catch a psychological issue and no more deal with. Yeah, can't time na akosia I can say on pair virtual no. Prince William County arrangement is where your first grading period. Second grading period, you know, ye call building in person. But the number of days will depend on COVID situation, I said it here. Now, say, Enquara mobile in person, they are doing very, very well. Enquara or more behavior issues last year, no. Enquara in person, we are all saying, say, last week, Friday, we are all saying, say, the case are doing very well. They miss school because Martin if you are and I strongly believe, say, Prince William. Say, Oma 4 days, only 2 or 3 days from November, no, second grading period, no, Krambe school, into Akosia, Mabon Toyam. And yeah, official there by IEP, I actually and as a COVID, no cost run so, or my ashes say be about 25% of the time, so yeah, 80% because it's a 4 days. Na akwara against homework able come Monday homework time no anopano omonko no omonko ye parent you are not the teacher. I mean because able to the omo teachers until they can help their children, but what would you teacher no my school no say would you teacher you can't teach the child and you maybe make the teacher and the child and the parent what they no and compare 80 aquarana sometimes it confuses him or her.
Adarkwah.
Yes, sir.
But this information now right now, and I think it would be very good for getting to the closing remarks, just to reiterate to the parents, so that they will know, remember, say about 4 or 5, and I would like to give at least the congregation the rest of the time to ask questions. Now, with that, the Kao Kansas here and all their share end in my Babwapa. Mr. With the questions, so we will question online as well, but you have an opportunity now on we are members on the panel will try to answer it first. Normally, we know be congregation may be our experience with the school board, and I said the question I was asking, or more have that question or more answer now. Page answer and also bet me answer. Bet me so answer question. But part of me keep on the short say bet me answer or be questions. Amano, and I can the beginning, say but questions if you me answering now. You bet try the account to ona. Yeah, your best now follow up. My just until right now, no, you baby floor no for the communication.
Collins.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, me pacho. I must say, opinion, the second for Casano. We said the Casa one landina. I know Okati, we used to be our landia.
Yeah, so crazy. Mr. Osel also.
Me pacho me wasu me nimbe dia e fizi because na me had na all right.
Yes, maybe then or end no cover and then a call off.
Okay.
Okay, you just finished.
I'm not because about Stafford County.
Correct.
Omo de survey dia basa yenye say we should either accept say the manual from pre-K up to second grade no on the 6th of October they are starting a hybrid for them say Stafford County no so hope so ba you fill that form no ba hybrid 2 days. 2 days in the classroom and then in person and then the rest of the days no friends asynchronous. And it depends on what you want to do. Some of us opted for 100% virtual because me, for example, I can help my child out because me to me and it depends on what you want to do. If you think you want to let your child go into the classroom, fine. If you think you want to keep him or her, and also fine. But you have to weigh so many things before you take such a decision. And then say in Stafford County area, but Fairfax County there, until say 22nd, they drew out what we call a school board meeting. There's no official communication that says about the call. The acting in an artisan. It's Omukwa and finalizing. Then they bring whatever they want to say or whatever they've decided on to us. I want to answer my question.
Okay.
Anyway, we have a question coming from Pacho. The question is coming from Adarkwah. The Pacho, I know he's not counting himself.
I hold on. Masa just so people will know. So right now, Mr. Mensa Bonsu, I think Mr. Sekufo, and those are with Adarkwah, Mr. Kwateng, I think on the high school. More of like the teacher's perspective, special ed, and for students, like your boy and Koshia Beko. Those are the people on the panel. So what question now is for one specifically to go to somebody ultimately Bonnie Day. If it's for the panel and also ultimately just if you can put it on the floor. All right, I don't compare with my question.
Let me say for Adarkwah. No, can say one of those. Na any a jumano. We say be how we timine we HR for nakasa. Na what me fee ahem kolano. But payment I month you see 2 weeks no full payment then what?
I know it's the first 2 weeks in the 100%. I think it's the highest we qualify for. I mean, we are professional workers, super. They will pay up to $511 a day. International say we are senior officer. For first 2 weeks, workers up to that. And they say 600 a day, any day you can only get 511 a day. Now, Sabalo Wadia, whatever you get paid for the first 2 weeks, they should be able to pay you fully for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, so we'll leave time. Almost betting me the Ashemua. Your father say, say 63 hours every 2 weeks. It is always 63 hours on your leave. Almost no much you for another 2 weeks. After that, Waketia pay 2/3 of what you earn, 66.5%. In the $100, you pay period piano. they will pay you $66.66. I think I know they bet me a 10 to 12 weeks. The minimum no. But yet maybe we follow HR and on but it may be a county and a state and I say to say park service and I be visa. Yeah, a bicycle and I stay need you qualify because Department of Labor and in charge of this. That's
okay. Question but we will be on the back and I don't have question one in terms of the Stafford and Fairfax County, or is this the same information? Or panel? Okay. So question back on what chat necessary. Said if let me see, just read it. Said they are concerned, said they are using the children as guinea pigs to determine the spread of the COVID before they reevaluate the option for virtual learning. So for the second quarter, can parents refuse to have their kids go to the school in November? Let's just say after the evaluation, the school board decides to open. Can parents refuse? And what Mr. Bonso answer first?
The short answer is parents be 100% control over the muscle. We COVID-19 free work. Before there will be slow days near their day. So slow cry our chronic safety in the school cry safety. Into about safety parents to make us say a change school into short answer and say I will fee. And now the anti-crime I say teachers need be any kind apply say or 100% online throughout the year. Into a background say young school no say teachers no mo do apply ya dia to no so be na promo or cement me face to face. Into some teachers no so for encourage almost parents this almost ntimi man into mo dey share nyina egukwan dada into e ba sa na be say monitor fi no mo ya mbacho ekon ho obitima na sa.
Okay, but that's it. Another question about is so this time of the year,
Pacho, on the same question. Prince William, the Oma country and say the best a coin in person, yes, parents were home coins or more up to Munko. Actually, high school students in the crown. The parents say on pay and on pay so car. I think that some people will beat me here. No more consider or market say a reasonable excuse. But what they don't guarantee is say or moving licensed teacher. I will subjects I will and now will class now or bachelor what dear the whole time. But now say you should canvas in tea. The assignments will be there for you. Because your regular time cry on Caribbean. Or one can say share the fee or videos. Or more best square. That teacher an assignments or the more or more than no more years. I'm gonna need to finish, high school in 3 years. Now I'm gonna answer almost university they do very well. And into your own friend program. And he said Obi episode or yes na parents no me dey begin say you training para na situation will be one self dependence and it's all we say the information say you me contact Obi or college and I'm your middle school Obi or high school and I say you are not afraid to let them see your weakness no betting you can do very very well. And this is on pet. So because in person, and now being so a year, virtual year. Parents need to be working on them. na said I mean asoro mu ye use your talent no be use your talent na won achieve the best obenya me that's it.
Okay, that was it. So a question about Kofi Facebook buy and I said this usually in this time of the year is to have some kids transitioning. You know, some going from elementary to middle to high school, you know. And to those kids, you know, are there any programs with this virtual learning or out there, some transitioning because they're not in the school and the syllabus, so has changed significantly from what they were probably used to. The school, board, what programs for such kids. Do you remember Mr. Quarten since you were in high school? Things are mute, Mr. Quarten.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of programs for friends and more transition most of the schools follow the AP program, others follow the IB program. Usually this time the IB, that international by calculator, started from the middle school. Even before the COVID, they have put as a measures in place acronym might transition very well, smoothly from middle school to continue with the program, in the high school. The mechanical teacher say, I mean, what we have been following, in the past, is what is being done now. I say, the only thing is that we don't actually meet the students face to face, and then this what do you call it? A program. So if one wants to follow the IB program, I mean, we actually let them know. But what we normally do is a syllabus, from the beginning of the year, we let them know what the expectation, the outcome, of what they have to do for the, we put them all in the, what do you call it, in the asynchronous, session of the program. They go there and then read, and then when they are in school, I mean, they are in class, we also go over the syllabus with them as to what is expected of them, some of the classroom, regulations and all those stuff. And then as to controlling certain things like, focusing on what is being done, and because most of the students in Ghana, we don't even, when we are teaching them, we don't even see them. They don't actually open the video part of it, and see, it's a bit of a challenge, but we make sure, a friend is saying, we put all these to help them, the parents, monitor them. We ask them questions. We have the breakout groups. I mean, we break them out into, groups. The collaborate session, Blackboard collaborate, and make it provision for. So that interaction by asking them questions and the students responding, also helps, they are also active in this thing. And in the Google, which classroom I use, more Google Forms and also you open the forms for, I mean, the students to also interact. When they are doing something, you can also watch it on their Google Forms that, this is what they are trying to write on there. Those who don't even respond to certain things, you can also see from the Google Forms when you put it to them in an edited form. Then that is what Fairfax County has actually put in place, to get to the students. But besides that, previously we used to have a major time, advisory, time, which we have not actually taken away from this area. And that is the time that we meet the students and then talk about, even this IB program and AP program the students want to get into. We use this time to, advise the students as to what they have to do. There are certain, I don't know, it's part of the, usually in my school, is a third period. the third period is used for that purpose, and then also explain certain things to them. And even if some students have concerns, in their class, subject areas or more, that's the time they even reach out, to the teachers, and then the teacher who is the major time teacher or the advisory teacher will also act as a what do you call it, as someone, a go between, the parents, the home, and then also the school. So in Indiana, they channel them through those teachers, who are their advisory. And then when a student is assigned to an advisory, a teacher or a major time teacher, the assumption is the teacher will take care of the kids, the students, from their first year until they complete the school. So they get to know them much better, and then the students get to know the teacher, and then also there is that rapport, between the parents and also anything, even as I'm speaking now.
Some parents, wanted to specifically for the ones, transitioning from one to the other. So the kid, let's say a middle school kid, may have the rapport with his or her middle 8th grade instructor, but now they're transitioning from that to 9th grade. And normally now, I don't know, like I know for college, you have orientation to get used to that.
I get you now.
But it seems like, instead of making us assuming and the kid not reaching out, what if the kid is not reaching out and the teacher is also not talking to the kid? Are there programs out there doing that transition phase? I think that's the question that is being asked.
Yeah, it also comes to a major time a period where we because first this year I think they did it. They call it jump start program. Usually for them to transition from one middle school to high school, or from elementary to middle school, they have this jump start program. Or more, the students to get a feel of the new environment, what is being done, and how they should go about getting help and also accessing certain things. So beginning of the year, they actually we did something like that, as we actually called it the major time orientation, and then we spelled out what is entailed in this virtual learning, and some of the things that is required of the students. We use a whole 2-hour period to give orientation to the students on this, and even which included what they call it those who are transitioning to anyway. That is
okay. That's it. So Adarkwah, if you could talk about Prince William, but before you do, there's a follow-up question from Elder Donko they're now on side, so it states, what about those that are self-employed that cannot go to work? How do they get that payment? And then this subsection also said, how do you go about the process? And it seems like we said there is a program to get that Sikano, but you didn't talk about where to go to and what forms to fill out and what website. One, the Prince William County did some transition thing for the students now, orientation a year, and then 2, what website or what forms or what phone number parents ever to get that information or to get the financial subsidy.
Transition said Mr. Kwati Kai school BI orientation Emanquarano. Now Adeba Akwan say high schools and middle schools almost in such places it's the schools in the community, and most students call the same middle school. For the same middle school, most of them go to the same high school. Into students in Omobakon, no minimum and Obakakra. Ye person, guidance counselors in a war school receiving schools, Yama parents, any students, who the guidance counselor, who the administrator were assigned to the student, The shall say some can say system way, Bibia we and bisa. Middle school I mean woman IB school, but I woman almost 2,000, And inti omwa e pushi no mu bisa ne mano. Omo and at school no e try to be satisfy omo needs. Say parent will pushi kakra. You get much more than parent also afraid when you be an ankasa and our secretary say principal and so on kasa or meeting munti. Keep calling and keep pushing. Email we email ya so who padia for school no now email ya. You have a track of it. Almost where misa yes I did. I emailed on this date. Ubetimi forward ya principal or no boss. And indeed, they are afraid and they take care of things for you. And minim say enwa boa oba here transitioning relationship ask principal and our guidance counselor no principal and obe assign will be amwa say on be take care of program. Family adieno. Oh yeah, self-employed. I have no idea what can be done. But when you school principal kasa, they would know more. I tell you, sir, and yama was system no more. Omo money nye open because omo person nipa bebre bechire guso. But sa one principal ne kasa now you're insistent on getting something, especially when you use the word "it's not fair" in your email. They don't like it. Now they try to do whatever they can to meet your need. Now, say when you're self-employed, make us say, well, human resource say ejuma esu kakra more human resource say when you obisa restaurant plan now ya bisa manager now manager no so misa the manager no so misa organization because there are some private organizations omo esikaphobia omo twesika omo de blanco for say they be omo ma be succeed. There are some places there. I will couple of places, but I will make so my phone so into me download it. Omo enquara. Omo ehia mwa no omo parents into me mwa. Omo timi koho during the day. Na ehon omo kwatena koye omo school work no. But so why would you it will be expensive. I believe that some of them have sponsors. But you have to ask. No be say almost say look, market ya say. So come obia market ya 40,000 or less a year no. You can get sponsorship for most things. Most things. And to be bisa say me low income. Me my nyensa. E kwan ben na me fa so a menya a financial aid for this. Now, Ibia Ubinyamwa was start with the school. This school say, where can I go to help to get someone to me? Where can I go to get help? Maybe I've been more question. More question.
Hold on. Chat question chat first. You raise our question now. I think first. Okay. And Daniel also called. And the first one on the chat, it's actually really well. The question is besides so for that community, sometimes this is already challenging enough, and sometimes we may not be able to ask the right questions or be pushy enough just because we might not be able to word it the right way. So how are we going to make such a discussion regular and also have a sustained way to serve as a resources for parents, in the church. Do we have people you identify or departments I work for betimi akọ ama ebi throw sa email put in the right adjectives so that teachers know the right thing for the parents. Do we have such things right now, or is it in the works? Mr. Bonsu betimi afawe or we are now Mr. Kwarteng, and then Adarkwah me also was smiling, so you might have an answer.
But said and Mr. Kodika a Kromano, a woman be ha na Musa, Emsono, or the Bible here, Dumapa. This is who Bisa and San and this is Ubo and Sada Yobi. Now, and at the school, Nasa Kromano, so Bibia. It's also okay, Ebia or baby school. Open and more be but celebrate Ebusano. Namiabum, you are sorry me. Your resources be brave. I was sorry more. You bet me you should say and then what friend Mr. Aqua, what friend Mr. Quati. Maybe school and maybe say me nyam 1 or 2 3. Resources now are sorry me. Make my director say kwa. Never be example, a special ed for inquiry. You are there be a meeting here, a friend IEP meeting, Afibia. Now, Usha, you know, a 2 for them, or Mubasa meeting now. And Miss Aquadia, or Mubedia, Obedia, and say, you will almost so now, Yashoroko. Now, so, Oba, Obi Bar, or Trick of a lawyer. You are Kofa, a union penny be also a teacher. You are Kofa, you are Fabia, where retired teacher. She said, "O more person will meet me be a no better than Omaba." Now, so young Queen, Oba, no about Uncle Dam. Oba, so all the business near Bogun, so it must be kind of let us use the resources around us. I saw one very big community, and then you very good. Reach out to somebody. And what you know, Akwabia or counselor. I also who oba a counselor do. Miss Low here pa. So the Jayatina addresses be near to go a year near the other. Oba counselor do Miss Low, money here, and Miss Ramopa money here. And if you are oba teacher for much of my day now, who will be counselor the first point of contact on here be there. Say na academica or only first person. Say academica oba teacher the kind contact no. Counselors ni bit match o scholarship ho you programs oba ni be hia. Who the 5-year administrators no so they are no kwasem omo no peduma na manayefo. Mesre get in contact with your counselors first. Omo antimi amwawa afa email na Mr. Akwade ni be no email your principal email now and something about paka problem on some I saw this shame and yes we be our team obi betima bowo asori nim a wonye hwe mesremo enya of ferry akra na uye adwuma utua tax no there was no maybe ho a e was on saka mesremo let us reach out yesterday free o my ben ya sorry ya and what you know now the co school no no e met my now and I said about can me go me stress on it most of the time I call first one no I'm the case there I'm the case no and now what you tell them why so I don't been no say why now was say I don't think this is fair Mommy be a nominee was school IEP 1 year. I don't cry any IEP 4 times a year. She keep asking. And Miss Ramo, yes, I don't want your mother. I'm a mother shock anymore.
No, sir. Mr. Party or Kakra bet me account or bet my bonnet farmer.
Yeah, in fact, communication there very, very important. Now,
Before you go on, I think that the questioner was not really asking about the communication. No? The question is asking, say, how do we help those that would like to communicate, but they may not be able to construct the right words, to get their point across? And what resources does the church have in place for those people? So the question is not asking, say, Omumbusa, they may want to ask, they just don't know what to say or how to say it. And today, I saw put in place. I said, okay, I need to do this. Maybe I said, my counselor, and make me a fire, and I said, maybe my counselor. Why not? Why sorry him and our department bank? And you see what makes me a call. I'm going to be ready to say. I be put to the maybe person me throw onto paper. I call school. I think that's what the question is asking.
Yeah. In fact, specifically, there shouldn't be what do you call it? A special department in the church. Each and every one of us could, help here and there. Now, say, even a man crana. Yabe wo mo han mo makọ school mo bibi na school ni enhye she ne mra no kwa no bo kwa no much more than even yen kwa na ye wo ayin because omo no pass it through the system and the students rights and responsibilities books ni sanema no oma aye every year bia no we make sure say we take them through the student rights and responsibilities ni sanema nyina no say Nema, say problem be banned as only panic faso aye. Until say fine if you have a department in the to channel this truth because of a friend saying to hold things in confidence, because of confidentiality in this element, maybe you may not like to disclose certain things, to any but apart from that, not necessarily an educator now the right words in at least people they are available to and I say many educators with me almost between the right words to take to the school but then I say Bibiana, parents no try to follow up. Follow up with the friends and we'll make sure say these things are met. Because one parent now administrators no hope. Now they are buying teachers and so who's hope Sana kwe. Oh parent back come home. Say, Bibi say no, teacher 90 meeting no more start airport. The teachers so much didn't conference, parental, and the I want to ask parent, for conference.
Niama Adarkwah so my cost time in so Obetima County, and then after that, the next, I think I heard a female's voice, man, who do you know? Okay, Adarkwah, and the Pakrona also will be a question, and then Daniel will ask his question.
Okay. Maybe I told Collins, maybe I told earlier, let me say my contribution, Kakara. Let me
I'm Patrick Adarkwah, as we are now Canadian.
Okay, yes. Mr. Kwaki can say agenda. One is Afibia and Paran school, your mom agenda. There is a lot in the agenda. Bibia about the school, ni proceed the over fast on and the Miss Ross last year, agenda, or you should copy March. Miss school agenda, or my and so on in November. And in the Afghan agenda, and Yama church row, school procedures in any manner. You find a lot. And no power. Or mom go school and so other resources. I face men so the be on a person the boy said you'll be person of fashion and let any day. At me by show my person obey draft Anime kasa mama di abrami na be am suggest and I be am I me the amount. I help a lot, but I'm a very, very busy person. This week in a way, next week, and upon here, baby, almost every week. And upon here, there is a church somewhere, my program. And during the weekend, so no me a busy kakra. I will help, and people know, say, many parents be kasa every week. But if you know what, almost person be when I and in the stress. Yen so yen hwe efa ye betimi aye no but advice bia wo hia minimum no me be ma especially teacher but me a clinical faculty enti enema bebre teachers bi o ha o ma ya mono no abi o mo che general class but ebia me na me mentor o mo enti enema nkiti bebre first school ho no metimi aboa
Mepacho, the na me kana me pese me question na mu bisa say he fa na ombenya resources so bi e pese ye tua ne kan ade na me the example bi e ba wo medwuma mu.
Okay.
COVID ne ba ye no. Ye ne eyi obroni ba bi na ye adwuma. Owo eyi disabled children, meaning say mentally challenged children. Enti oni ye supervisors na kasai Omuko human resources. Yamani de fear 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, no. COVID in the buy was starting a 2 weeks. The chair and the car is that time now the fabric. I was starting a 2 weeks. It's again a person the cat and want say. And you know, yes, I hope on you do my yanny against his stroke, and say, be but Sanya can say, yeah, what we saw with school counselor say, no problem with. If I say me take you when me man, and he na meet me up on your resources. So and that's what you make with the boss say. And then options now over man. If I say meet me when me man, me a sure say you bisa you do because to do for me so me no omo for bisa ya omo enja. Oh, if I say be mo for omo ekunu mo omo ayi omo paycheck ana bibi pay stop omo rani agnade and ye ma omo nyema bebre omo ntimi na farmer. Ni ban so anya dwuma da ye tua ne ka since February se March no or started adwuma 2 weeks ago. Oh, enti enema no wo ho. Enti empem na Nyankopon be kwan na mai.
Daniel, which may be our question?
Okay. Well, that's it. The question Equalano some more laptop before class you best start. That was someone in home baby. Now, I will start school. The only some friend be some say, "Equalano go school." I be some 3 questions. Now, the question on back say, which one is better? Also, on the school and I say, "One got some much more do because of COVID." Let me see. Let's make 2 moments say now, which one is better? Most is better say, "Equalano." On the school now. On for so much on the bomb. My band so much on my so I call for so much bomb. No computer no. Computer no it's like I say eshi. Now you're managing a kanga but I'm saying draw and great rather. Get no computer no so. First we want to me signing or yeah to me signing name the next day it happen again. Nina so go so bring a send message to the teacher you know. No, see, I'm just say you to me yellow. Until the next day, something happened. That was in Ra. In a basic year that Aqua Air Council. No, because no, as no, call the school. Not me free school. Me free or pick or pick school. Me quick or say. Computer no what in the summer until bet me about the new way program you know. As a computer and whatever. Now person business say. Computer me kwa me can chom some because computer no utu say pa me me ka tina kwara no say ye boana oba no so ka complain no so ka tina or bokora he feel the computer is very hot until me bisa say me kwa me tuma ka chom say computer no chom say no ma me ana Adarkwah.
Yes, listen. One the information, even the county made calls. Being your parents, almost frame. I know a lot of parents who said they called them. So be a computer waiting for spring and bring it back for update. Maybe a teacher, maybe I'm a you know. Obviously, a baby idea because be I in so into my farm. Your best school me call in person. The first day took them the whole day to update it. And you were supposed to return all those computers for updates. Into can't you almost say, sa computer and I should do. Person be updating on the amount open for. Just say that. Tell them that. But if I in the future, no, follow the directive, no. What do you know? Yes, sir. Okay, say, well, when I would and one farm and I say, your own in answer. And your school in any beer or more bibliaca, but I believe we say you probably have summer or more me. And you can't almost say, computer and I should do into one pay you into a floor, no more the mom.
Thank you.
Before the next question, I would like to say something in regards to the resource, for the church, No, even though said there might not be a specific department, so you can always start with at least the education department, And once to bring it to the education department, we will do our best to assist you by getting you in touch with the people that can use those eloquent words, to get your point across. So this is why sorry if not say believe say or just approach them. But resource will be at least start with the education department, and we will guide you and help you in the best way we can. Now, thanks, be able to answer the question.
Education ministry, no. Woodbridge, Tommy Aqua, Collins Alway, Elder Kennedy, Edna Anoche, Annette Tamakro, Morrison, Echamfo, and might be one or two people I'm Urafi. First, no one, so Mr. Isaac Job, but in the chairperson, and opening men's account. Caroline, youth leader, on also count, Elder Wilson count, and the moon almost and I'm Mubisa pastor. He can tell you who the other people are. And it's about the BB Banner say, Yenti mean you are, will look for the resources and let you know. And the first know education ministry, so say, Yemi, no. First know Woodbridge Education Ministry, we work hand in hand. And to be on betting me a boy, and BBI is a betting me a boy. Yabeboa. I said, I see I contacted the right schools, teachers, and whatever. Parents, and a moment started more initiative with your schools, teachers, especially first. May I say, but your mammy no person over the man.
I don't batch me that say. We batch on the question here. Let me be say. Now we can say about what me and Kana. Yes, that is a questions. Me to me one about homework. A family na me faso. And number 2. Me ya mami na say. Bibi abana say me pushi ya. Me pacho teacher ne no on time e ba no work class. O tumi mi su na dribi. Enyi me ba ni free at the chile work class ana. Pacho ma say mbisa me da say.
Okay. Mr. Sekufo, Bajosho. Yeah, okay. With me, I responded before. I mean, I just could. Yeah.
When I say, a chrome is entirely different. Very different from the experience in Ghana. There's no way I would make us a good teacher, yes, or the one who has to trouble. Untumi yɛ de bia asɛm na wo bisa yie na wo pe de ama wo ba and there's no way I obetumi aka sɛ ni gina no so na me de akotan wo ba sɛ the slightest thing na wo do obetumi report ni background o report ni background no bɛkyerɛ no teacher ko no bɛkyerɛ no seriously and you be aware of that teacher be aware of that go make sure say or the time you create it, you don't be van background. No way. Then they are out of it. Every teacher is conscious about this as far as Yeye County, Fairfax County is concerned. You cannot put to me and just put to me M4 be buying you said the baby and I'm baby say a crown one a reporter no but you know and then they are mean so cry say dear oh me could be a question and they say no better no and I could be aware is it a tear bizani ago no unim entina will be sir only one or to me on forwarding call the next step. And this answer once we bet me at the next step. I could be sad. About your minimum of what I say.
I was your for Benfa Kakran. In fact, I for now I'm pushing you. They only say, you couldn't Ghana de Nanka and you crack. I did not for Kobe Swata or Fano. Now, how you know a crowd now for pushing you. Saa kwa na yen teacher for ni esuro ye pomodia ko up and down just to satisfy sa akora no etima me dia wu suro no yesuro say teacher for yesuro eti wo yesa ye from dia bia say the enka hu na ye ka ho say da ya akora no wo no mani bebeje eti ka me wa ka me yire me ho pa ma teacher mi no what me abo me ba no it be so yi so film ye mom yesuro mo ye kom Ghana de na nkwa na suro teacher for ekrom ade teacher for ye na suro nkra no nti be so teacher mi bi aye ro fa onu mo adwuma ya dobo no na wo ba no da so e dai eti ho ti be so suro kire kra visa no mo kwa be boy mo na mi suro
amen pacha ka homework ni je na mi bisa e pacha homework no in fact yenina achechefo yenim se anya awofobia na betimi aboa omoma no ende ya we enti de ye ne se oba bibita Fairfax County your website your resources no mabebrea ide egu akwema ebeboa akra no ama homework bi e be mani bia no obetimi aye enuzu everywhere yeyi Monday si o say akwa bia ontimi nyan homework no Monday no me say me 2 hours Monday me ti computer ni mi ko ba bia me ti ho twen say akwa bi beba no aka say homework we mi timi nye na maboa no e say that me sa akwa bi kan ni nejo wo akwa na wo say hunu say I have to go seek help e wo say me corner me ko demwa yen so no say ye training ye mano akọ empendie mu any college won sa na tie ayi uma me bia na obi mbebo bell wo akwa na wo so hunu emi sa tie na abe enti COVID-19 ko ye efa bia ye aboye ma nkwana ye independent nti akwa na beba sa akwa na ma ho kakra na wo awfo no bam ko ku hunu akrimit ni emwa ade nti na teacher yi nko no ho say Monday kura wate ho kwa eno kura Monday ya to computer ni kwa ya twemo ma ebia ye be hwe Netflix but ye nya hwe enti asra mo mra ma ye na awfo no mo sumo ho ntomo mbra ma se
e ba cha me bo homework de no yes teacher no Monday de no ye pam cho obia parent bi o ma na manyusu na me ka say parent akwara na de wonti ase no don't force yourself teacher na nim na me chira mu clue kipu bi uba website ya resources no subject ya na kwara wo problem pa ye math science and language arts math no misa kwati no na specialist but who the next lower level you'll be surprised how easy it gets for the child. You tossum you Sakurano Onya penny na go through this system. And into obey me a channel Hwese woman who build the relationship obia mfa bufuo emwa obi because wunua no man krantia say you have to work together because some mo bua mo ho mo nyina mo beye yie a mo ye yie a wo mo nyina in perform be depend on you but say wa mo no na o problems bebre na se mawu kwa ana mi hu kura na mi enough sika na ma ye mre a Mwa nebeba also his name is your name. Unyina munyina mo odimba ni dimba ta odin. Enti ye man kwara ni ntimi ensua se onbeye baako na nkwara mo ye mpanifo beboa. But one kasa de especially wa uko school or Ghana. Don't teach your child math here. Sakwara no high school ni ade they are different. And I answer a child and born. You don't say those words here. Because time no here, so put you in. Understanding no here and you're born wabon. Kroma, it doesn't matter what level you are. Akwara mi chira na dear special because he was so happy to meet me. Was oye juma oji aketia $80,000 a year. Ghana can what special mental retardation class, mild mental retardation class. Ghana anka oye nsioba. Anka wabon. System where you're completely different. Mini pa go through through special education. Omo professionals. People have no idea. Who got 3 years in the attest to don't attest out of special education. It's not a death sentence here. And especially yes, we on your learning disability. Don't fret and can say no, not my child. Don't say that. So when you're a good teacher in 3 years, you will come out better and the child will progress well. And into homework, So over to me, dear, over to me, I want to me more. Please call the teacher. And the teacher and the teacher and so other resources, your math resources, your English in a language resources. Resource personnel or more building more or most of it me aboa. And your Korana classroom teacher. If you please talk to the teacher first and then call the school. And I'm a teacher and I really help man. That's it.
Okay, thanks for your time and song. But me so nipa minu me say bo question tops 3. While we wait for those 3 additional questions, the only thing I would like to say is that I had no nearby different. Enti say Obano is teacher. I want to stress is in sometimes some teachers tend to push kids to certain special education. And I said we'll put them in like English as a second language simply because of Akwara, especially with the English as a second language, simply because of Akwara last name. Make a great be Akwara wahana so or buy and not uswa. There's a few as parents, you need to be involved in the kids' education. Just because the teacher is saying the kid needs English as a second language, doesn't mean the kid needs it. The teacher just might be saying it because the kid have a Ghanaian last name or have a little accent. That doesn't mean that the kid needs it. You as a parent, can put your foot down and have the kid take regular English class. Another thing is that if your kid is not doing well and the teacher is saying kid too hyper on your way medication and also first you as a parent sit down with the kid. If you are able to teach the kid and the kid is able to comprehend what you, the parent, are saying then it might not be the child's fault. It might just be the way the teacher the teacher is not portraying the information the way the kid understands. Into the teacher and kasa who beside 1+1 we who school but who now in the year the same questions now busa teacher and busa onya wrong akranu that questions correct. So I'm saying all this to say let's not be too like na teacher and can't say say because sometimes we do that now we tend to restrict the kids ability and then finally, with this, there's just going to be a lot of stress. We all figured it out as we go. Enti mumi enya abotrema nkwala no so na enye bibia just let's communicate. Let's try to see what the kid is going through, and you the parents, whatever you're going through, don't use as a frustration to yell at the kid. Actually let the kid know, say, I don't even get it. So let the kid understand, so that the kid doesn't feel frustrated, say you the parents, you don't care, you just want to yell at them and not help them. And then again, like we said, the education department is always there. Most of the people in the education department went through the school system in this country, so we'll be able to answer those questions for you, or at least guide you to somebody that is currently going through the process, so that they can answer those questions for you. That said, anybody on the panel who will closing statement, I'll wait to you. I'm keeping it within 3 minutes. Let's start with Mr. Oseko, if you're on there. Okay, I don't think so.
No, sir.
Okay, so any closing remarks?
Okay, but I must say, we are all in trying moments or challenging times, and it's easy. But you can encouraging Korano. And it's not easy for them because sitting by the computer for 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours, it's easy. Young people program when the treasure I can my break. So young woman can say they encourage you whatever means that we can, please encourage them. You say listen to Makasa. Young moment to them. We'll get there. We'll get there. That was it.
That's Mr. Mensah.
Kakra me can try to say idea in stress for my parents, students and teachers. And to say Fairfax County, it be about social emotional learning. As teachers, as parents and as students. In the young come home as a one team. Na visa yes you let me overcome challenges ni na emission.
Mr. Partin.
Yeah, and then I say I'm a Konyan because public speaking maybe I'm a digress kakra na with Masabem kakra na we are by and I'm going to say bibi boni mna say ne papa mu yankura no fanwa na say friend is saying technology no just to use it to watch movies, go to the Netflix, be on social media, you say abase you say technology they have to use it to their advantage for their learning inti man kolano CCI kase but parents mon try say more encourage mo na be a friend saying busuya amana bona this no because in the colleges most of the colleges I believe say pretty soon omuro virtual you see man to be independent from lower level lower classes make me independent now so prepare or to be that trust I could draw a friend saying college obi any ho no one so rank kusua and the amount for bekwaja a mom so organized as a whereby when you obi very well organized as a anima be foul untimi enye insho wade ni e ma we so wa timi say we ka me ese me kwa na me hwe na me free ho na obisa na my parents no so bam na see ayi teachers no kwa no obi kan me no old school teacher me old school teacher but ni me born my say for so me so conference nka sorry nka ma fam paper bi ni me na makona ko gina board so my explain ti abase ya do computer age so bia na we no I believe say they make no yen san ko echi na prepare yen for future what do you call it schooling challenging but I think America yes we can Oh, yes, we can. American, we don't say a friend say, I don't know what Bakwana, ye kitty amount for me, so we can, spirit, I mean, should move us on. Now, I saw him, shame. Yes, we can. Let me say, I mean, only the support, but young fancy will say, yes, we can, no matter what. Now, more, more open up to a friend saying, more teachers, now more, na Mr. Mensa was guy say lessons are in school so you dey emotional and a friend saying community building at their right lessons in they see on the class now so instead of going straight to the academic at least you be two board so you see a what is the best a friend saying advice any impact on you na gonna start take kika over COVID a friend is saying anima bena say COVID no obetena fie no aboa na sa amwa na nkra no keka no de and again so no another year yes I say as nkra try to collaboration is very, very important. I say min committee me pro 2 heads are better than one. We share ideas one down no yeah we share ideas don't go for the answers we share ideas parents we share Mumisa for a church members name bibia nchi should be and fancy honum but more answer bisa that obinya solution to it. Yes, we can.
Thank you.
That's what I want to say. Thank you.
So I know sir Ella ne akoshia go so if you have anything to add to what was said, we will greatly appreciate it. So I think before yesterday you share an education department I think that we were going to try to identify some tutors for the kids, and to me say Adarkwah or unya sa answers nana. Say Kennedy was also bet me answer my so.
Not really, but they said they can tutor for like elementary school. Into just one name. I guess I will discuss later. We're still looking for people who are willing to volunteer. Yeah, master.
Okay, thank you. And I mean, sir, any of the adults here, if you're also willing to be a tutor now, we also really appreciate it. And if you have children that would like to do that sooner, we're looking for names. And I'm not in Asia, they say they are top panel so. Education department is working on it, but volunteers we greatly appreciate any volunteers. Say benyawa. The frowny bisa na bet me aboa mpacha no aka yi wa mai. Okay, that said, Adarkwah.
Yeah, me final comment Nkwa parents momodi answer akwara bia o baby a o tia o ye no work in the dining area basement e bia o tia apartment mu a convert baby bebre part of the kitchen in dining area be na living room no kra say this an emergency time na obenya $20 desk table awo BJ's and our Walmart na water box paper box $75 now the so now kwarana aye ne kara uta now the fancy wa and a laptop push him into your non kwa obi understand no for headphone makwara bia obi here headphone say kwa o safo campo say the be outside distractions and also be through her me number 2 group assignment group activity the mama assignment group na say ebinum wo ho na omo hadwen let the teacher know say the be what you do focus work me number 3 you say akwara no or you gifted into another teacher and the buy onim go hiamwa believe me you will buy a gifted ya or him what is obia or working below grade level. Teachers they only teach the average kids. And into buy a gifted that said the child is being served. Say with system way teacher na bet me as start assignments. different for just your child. I bet me I occupy no, I be engage, you know, the next grade level. They work 2 grade levels higher. Into Hessa Obano, Yankasa Onimadienti, or Debia was winning BBI. Don't let them bore him out of his academic achievement. The cost will be any or more. That's why hyper. Avoid medication, changing aquaranabi and aquarabo or your body. Maybe he eats too much, maybe he stays up too late. Shall no sleeping pattern, please. Summer is over. And she said, Aquarano and Quaranida Ebres over. You really help them. One brain in here rest so they can be productive. And inti so we hyper Kenediane Ediane Abuano odi a lot of fruits and vegetables grapes na ya dry no raisins for vegetables you be surprised. Enipa me wellness club or me building munipa or mutinya kochi or mama and love vegetables because of raisins. Eninti ekwan bia ne marketing kiti bia ye betimi bia ebebo ankwara no yenye ne mo ankwara no ye fa say this is our chance to excel. Akwara no e assignments please contact the teacher, especially wonya de bebre wanya senye kroma na ko school ya na me teacher ameba na me manya science da. In science work be or no one and I say, you know, you have to find help somewhere. Don't teach what you don't know. It does a lot of harm to the child. Sakurani teacher being there because they said a lot of parents, you know, with canvas, you know, parents, you know, we a partner. What to me call correct them Quarana assignment in you know what to be correct. Oba wobi so onye challenged enough. Akwara no work na too easy manual. Any teacher na nkasa science oboa. Ene ne counselor and answer administrator nkasa. Elementary school there you go to the assistant principal and our principal. Inti yamma sa mre enyemra ebebo nkwara na bebre. Na oba onyanko school no in the child is 3 months old, 6 months old, please start teaching the child to read. That education it's so easy. I could be over 4 or 5 years old reading. It's because the parent didn't understand and we didn't do something about one. And the started off knowing numbers and reading before they go to kindergarten. You have no idea the good foundation at
Solomon, you can go ahead.
Yeah, in fact, it's very interesting to listen to such a very
I don't know if you're still talking about, we cannot hear you. So while we wait for Solomon to come back on, I think so we have some technical difficulties. That Munya said Obia tuning enough, so Obia was respectful to her to be on mute. We really appreciate that. Solomon said, all right, Solomon Abbas, you can go ahead.
You see that? So I don't know, what do you have if they can really tell us something that will encourage others? I have seen a lot of our colleagues from Ghana, the teachers, they come and if you take it to them about teaching, they just don't have no interest in that. So I don't know.
So it's really hard hearing what you were saying. So to me, I send him a message. I can just read it out. If not, now maybe I don't know what's going on, but I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, a little clearer, so you can start over again.
Yeah, I said what I was looking for was I think I can come to video and then kind of like show my video a little bit. What I'm saying exactly is that these are Ghanaians that are telling us what they feel at the face to face, what is through, they are going through. Having our own people speaking to us is very encouraging. But it's just like some of us, we are teachers back home. We come, I don't know the background of Mr. Osaibesu and then Mr. Kufo. If they can really kind of like, what message do they have to also encourage some of us? Especially, I know some of us who were teachers, they come here so scared. People are just not in the mood to even kind of like go into teaching. But at least, what do they have to also put on board to encourage others that, hey, it's a good thought, take it up. And yes, I think so, some time ago, we invited somebody from Arizona, this doctor, I can't remember the name very well again. You see, and he was telling us how white people treat our kids in school. Having our own people also in the classroom teaching gives us some kind of confidence and hope. But you go and everything, assuming if this panel, they weren't teachers, they wouldn't be able to tell us the real let's say, actual information. So, I don't know, if they have any message that they can put across to also encourage others to take it up, I think it would be as a great thing. Thank you.
So that is such a great question, but with the time and when I don't want them to rush it. So one thing we can do as the education department is we can come together, come up with maybe something like a career training thing. That way we can have a panel like this with people from different fields, so they can talk about what they do, how they transition from Ghana to that field, so that the discussion will be centered on that, so we can actually have people, that way we can educate people on that, because I think that would be the best time to do that, so we can actually have a thorough discussion. Also with our culture, we tend to focus on a few different fields. So I think that would be the best time to do that, because if I was to have them answer that question right now, that will probably take us to 6 o'clock. Unless somebody can give us like a 2-minute answer. But ideally, the best time to do it with education, we'll come up with a career discussion where we'll do that. That said, again, like I was saying, there'll be everybody was respectful and asked the questions. Just so you know, we are always there. The church is a family. We're there to help each other. I don't know if there are some authorities putting things into place financially to help parents that are going through some issues, especially like getting school supplies, now getting desks, setting up classrooms in their homes for the kids. Now, I think that would be good for the church, something the church should think about, so that we can have some form for resources, even if it's a donation crowd, so that the parents can come, or even the youth, we can come to your house, help you set up the kitchen, put up some cardboards, some pictures on the wall, just to make it nice and presentable. If there are no other further questions and no final comments from the panel now, Chedem Jemfi, and Pacho Obetimi Abompire, they are close to my.
Pacho, Mr. Motime Quakrana, Obetimi, Mr. Minya, Mr. Mensabonsu, Mr. Oseko for the time as a crowd with this new but as some other ideas I have this discussion on, but on behalf of the church, and as a member We have an to you. Maybe so. Woman,
yeah, my that change of yama or that remarks, no, I do be as a no, no, as I am sure for almost time, no, would be mine.
Yeah.
And for in the Munina Mossy, or that Gia, and I must say no. Questions we are now question on that if we is so very educative. Information I'm with man keeping your nanka da or home nanka a friend saying for access it. Fortunate. ɛno na yɛsɛ onyankopɔn sɛ nka ɛbɛyɛ everyday occurrence da bia so bi hia biribi a onyame nhyira mu yie paa sɛ kofoɔ ɛne Mr. Mensa Bonsu, Mr. Aqua, Ella, Collins, Mr. Henry Quartin wɔ information a mode amayɛ no ɛne akosua nyame nhyira mu yie paa yɛsrɛ sɛ nkada biara no yɛbɛnya no saa daa na aboa yɛn mmɔfra no na ɔmo nya opportunities a wɔwɔ kurom ha no ɛne nhyira onyame because nneɛma no bebree wɔ hɔnom a yɛa ne yɛsrɛ teacherfoɔ no sɛ yɛnim sɛ yɛrekɔ kan no ɛde asɛm bɛbrɛ akɔlaa no ɛno nti ne yɛmmea no na affect nkɔlaa no on future but na mo bi ni no bebree ni so akyerɛ a yɛda ehu nyame ase sɛ ɔde mo bɛka nsa na awie ebra yɛde dwumadi no bɛwie no mɛsrɛ ne nyinaa asi atwa ase afei yɛabɔ mpa yɛde nyame ase yɛna gye nyame dɛfo yɛda wase awie ɛwɔ adesuadeɛ kɛse a wode afa yɛn nuanom so de ama yɛn yɛsrɛ ɛna aho aba yɛn mfasoɔ yɛsrɛ ɛna yɛtumi agye ayɛ adwuma sɛnea nkyerɛkyerɛ ne akwankyerɛ a wode ama yɛn no ɛbɛtumi aboa yɛn mmɔfra yi toa so na dum nyansa toa so na dum nhunu nso ɛberɛ a wɔne afoforɔ kyɛ no na ɛbɔ ho wɔ ha ne no mmɔ ho ɛnimi yɛ sɛ wobɛdom yɛn saa ɛde mmɔfra yi nso hyɛ nsa ampa ɛberɛ a yɛwura mu yi ɛyɛ berɛ a ɛyɛ berɛ sonko koraa wɔ ɛfrɛ nnipa nyinaa nhyehyɛeɛ mu ɛno nti adesua a wɔsua ɔte fie no wɔsua no ɛbɛyɛ overwhelming sometimes parents ebi ɛyɛ very new a wɔn nso nhunu sɛ na wɔn si nyɛ no ne nyinaa no yɛsrɛ ɛna wɔn yɛn ho abotire yɛsrɛ ɛna wɔn yɛn ho nyansa yɛsrɛ koraa ne sɛ yɛbɛnya ɔtwe ne abotire honhom na afei deɛ wonam akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ so de ma yɛn ɛho aba yɛn hyira ɔdɛfoɔ berɛ a wodom yɛn asase so nyansa nso ne yɛsrɛ honhom deɛ nso sɛ tikyerɛfoɔ yɛn mmɔfra yɛ akoma ɛne wɔn adwen na onyini mɛyɛ wo dea wɔn boa wɔn ho na wɔn mmɔ wɔn community na nyonyam hɛ sɛ wopie ne mpire no nso a wɔtumi aka sɛ kakra a mde hyɛ mo nsa mu de mu nokware na de pii ahyɛ nsa yɛda wase bebree wɔ Yesu Kristo din nti amen.
Yeah, Mr. Host, yeah, Daniel, my back.
Yeah, Mr. Mensa Bonsu. And Mr. Osefufo. I mean, we really enjoy the currencies. The money, I really enjoy it. God bless you all. Mr. Quartens, I guess I was so far. Who could recruit you? I can think every
One